Welcome to Everything But the Kitchen Dink, the podcast where we discuss all things pickleball with your hosts, Rob and Andy.
Welcome back to Everything But the Kitchen Dink. I'm already smiling because...
Welcome back.
I think we have a legend on today.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air.
Oh.
We have England player, Nationals champion, Open champion. I don't know. The list goes on, Richard. But welcome, Richard Love, to the show. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
I'm happy you're here.
I can't believe it's episode 128, and now you're only just on here.
I feel like I've listened to every single one of them, guys.
You forget all the medals. This is what you really wanted.
Well, to be fair, there's one medal that I prize more than any other. And I remember going over to Oxfordshire.
Yes.
And I had backache from carrying my partner.
Listen, you were in awe of me. I mean, it happens.
One shot you hit.
Great to have you on. I want to talk about your background in, well, you started off in tennis. I mean, you've been a tennis coach for, 20 odd years?
Yeah.
So tell us about how you got into tennis, what age you started, what level you played at, and
where it all began.
Yeah, I grew up in Norfolk, and I was sort of, I couldn't really avoid tennis. My granddad was a Wimbledon umpire.
Right, okay.
Yeah, my mum, growing up, she grew up in Middlesex and played doubles with Sue Barker, and so she was. I was the worst player in my family.
Okay.
And it turned out that I was the one that made a living out of it for 20 odd years. But it's it was a sport that I loved. It is still an incredible sport. But a few years ago, I found pickleball, and the way I describe it is pickleball is tennis, but fun.
So how did you find...
That's not how everybody else describes it.
How did you find pickleball? Like, was it a class in your centre, or did you just stumble on it?
Yeah, it's a funny one because I think everybody listening probably has heard of Thadia Locke. Well, I worked on the Olympic Park. I was manager of the Hockey and Tennis Centre in Stratford. And Thadia used to work for the Lawn Tennis Association running the big tournaments, and she came and ran the Wheelchair Masters, one of the biggest wheelchair tournaments in the world. And I worked really closely with her. And probably 6 months after we finished one of them, she contacted me and said, could we use your courts to run a pickleball tournament? And I did what everybody else did and said, pickleball? And she explained it. And at the time, it was it is still a really popular centre, and we couldn't free up the courts to do anything anyway. So we just said no. But that was the first I'd ever heard of pickleball, was from Thadia, which is pretty incredible.
So your centre was a tennis centre?
Yeah, it was a hockey and tennis centre. It was where England hockey play all their home internationals. But it had 4 indoor courts, had 6 outdoor courts, and she wanted to take the 4 courts to do a pickleball tournament. And as I say, we couldn't afford, we couldn't free up the time to do it. But that was the first time I'd ever heard of the sport. And then fast forward a couple of years, I left there, went back to Norfolk, and I was running a sports centre right in the heart of Norfolk. And on my first week there, I had my suit on, and I was wandering along the corridor past the sports hall, and I heard this the familiar sound of plastic on plastic. What on earth is going on in there? And I think it's probably like you guys are up where you are. The guy in charge, a guy called Chris, he holds his paddle the wrong way around because he's always handing it to people to try.
Right.
And he saw me looking through the window, opened the door, gave me the paddle, and said, "Come and have a go." And within 5 minutes, I was like, I wonder what tactics I can use, and I was hooked with literally 5 minutes. And I remember driving home that evening and all the way home thinking, if I hit the ball there, would that stop them from doing this? And I think it's the same with everybody. You get hooked.
Yeah. So were you still playing competitive tennis at that point?
Not so much so. I played for Norfolk as a junior, as an adult, and then over 35s, I played for Norfolk. But I'm going to be honest. I coached for say 20 odd years. I got a little bit jaded with it. I feel like I'm probably going to annoy lots of people listening that play tennis. But as a tennis coach, you kind of regurgitate the same thing. Or everybody has to look the same. They've all got to have the same looking serve. Everybody seems to have double-handed backhands. And again, skipping forward, when I found pickleball coaching, I did my first session. I found myself asking more questions than I was telling, whereas on the tennis court, you just told them what to do. The first guy I coached was a guy that came from badminton. And so I was like, oh, well, you're really good at this. How come you can do this so well? Can we use that in your game? And can we build a game around your superpowers, I call them? And that's how it developed. And I never have a boring pickleball lesson now, because every single person I teach, I feel like I give them the skills that they've got and build on them.
Do you know, that's fascinating. I've never thought about it that way, but you're right. No other sport brings so much from other sports. Absolutely.
And I've played you guys before, and, you know, from tennis, yeah, it's great to have big topspin drives and things. But a few months ago at the Nationals, we played in the final. We played, well, we won't talk about Tracy, will we? I know, but her new upgrade partner.
Yeah,
he comes from table tennis, and I think the first 5 or 6 points we were like, "Whoa, what's happening?" Balls were whizzing past us.
Yeah, he's got a great
and he uses those skills from table tennis. Yeah, and we had to really rethink our game plan. And it took us a good 7 or 8 points to work out what we needed to do to combat that.
It's funny because, I mean, if you've listened to the podcast, which I know you have, me and Andy are always going on about tennis players and how they have an advantage coming into pickleball. Do you think that has helped you sort of come into pickleball, and you had the skills already? I mean, is it an advantage in your opinion? I think it's probably, the sport.
I think tennis is a very all-round sport. I think all racket sports kind of aspire to be tennis, and that's why Wimbledon and the top of the game, everybody drops everything for 2 weeks to go and watch Wimbledon, because it is such a good sport.
Yeah,
and it is all round. But I don't think I watched Wimbledon this summer, and I don't think I enjoyed as many points as I enjoy watching 4 random people play a game of pickleball. You find yourself clapping and laughing and supporting, and so you don't even have to know the people you're watching. They can be almost beginners, and you can still see some really crazy points. I think because the game is shorter, the nets are lower, the ball's slower, everything is just easier. So all the stuff you see Federer, Nadal, Alcaraz, Sinner, all of those guys do on a tennis court, I can't do that. Maybe once in 500 shots I'll hit an amazing shot. But in pickleball, you can have a go at those shots and have success with it.
While you're talking about amazing shots, I'll never forget, and it's still stuck in my mind, actually. It was in Amsterdam, at the Amsterdam, whatever, it was the Open. And I was on the court next to you, and you did this shot. I think it was against Chris Mitchell. And you did this tweener between your legs, and it just flew like down the line for a winner. And I was like, oh my God, that was like the most amazing shot I have ever seen in pickleball.
Now, I'm still recovering from that. But it gives me no more pride. No, it gives me a lot of pride to think that was against Chris Mitchell. That makes me feel good.
The cracking shot.
Is that your favourite shot, the tweener? Because in the last episode, we were talking about our favourite shots.
Yeah. I don't know. This is really boring, but actually I like the really boring shots. Me and my doubles partner. It's funny how we develop points. She does all the clever stuff, the boring stuff. I dive across and hit the winner. And it's funny because we get the chance to go on show courts quite a lot, and you'll hear the commentators going, oh, it's showtime and all this. But actually, it's my partner that's done all the hard work and the really clever stuff. And that's what I love watching, and just seeing the little nuances of just hitting the ball in a perfect spot down at someone's feet.
Create the chance for you to come in.
It means I can take all the glory.
I mean, it's shaking up there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But obviously, we know that having a tennis background helps. But being at a tennis centre and then pickleball comes in on a regular basis, you having the opportunity to play whenever you want is something that, well, we certainly dream of. So it's not like you walk on as a tennis player and you become, Britain's number one. Take us through sort of the hard work that you've put in.
Yeah, you say hard work. It's fun every time I go on court.
Yeah, it's hard work.
So first of all, I was really lucky that when I started, so this guy, Chris, that gave me the paddle and said, like, come and have a go. At the end of that session, he said, you can play a bit. And he said, go and see my mate David. There's a place called the University of East Anglia in Norwich. Go and see my mate David. So I went to see this guy, David. Just turns out to be that it was David Youngs, who I don't think he'd lost a nationals for about the 4 years before. And I knew David from tennis as well. But David was a squash player, just an absolutely remarkable player. And when you've got people like that you can play with, it really, really helps. So I remember going and meeting him. I got there early for the session, met him. He said, come on, jump on court and we'll play some singles. And I remember we were about 14 all in a match, and we had to stop because the rest of the group all turned up. And I remember him saying to me, he said, you do realise I'm European champion and it's 14 all and you've just played your first. And I thought, I think I could be quite good at this. And then only a few weeks later, I managed to find somebody who is as nuts about the sport as I am. And we were in the same boat. And so we just decided that there's no problem with getting up at 5:30 in the morning, getting to a court at 6. So we didn't have a facility that was ours that we could go and we booked courts just like everybody else. But we went before work, we got there at 6, did an hour and a half, went had a shower and got to work. And we probably did that 3 mornings a week. So we were probably proper drilling for 6-7 hours a week. And then 2 or 3 evenings a week going and playing with our local groups and putting the drilling into practice. And that combination is so important. So
if you're in the position like we are, and so many people who can't get that court availability, I know it's been drummed into us, you've got to drill. But if you can only play twice a week, 2 evenings a week, do we forget the drilling? Is it more important to practice the games? What advice can you give to people in our situation?
It's a difficult one. Obviously, the more you practice, whether it's playing competitions, just rec play or drilling, the more you play, you're going to get better. There's this whole, I think last week, I messaged you guys last week. Yeah. I was talking about long-term player development.
Yeah.
Years ago, I met this guy that talked about that. And it's the same with everything, whether it's sport or learning to play piano. It takes 10,000 hours to get good at to become an expert in something. And it's not just having a laugh hours, it's focused hours. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I took out of it. So not only did I get on court and drill, when I got home, and if I had some time in the evening, I'll stick on the YouTube and watch the PPA tour in America. And I started watching Annalie Waters and Ben Johns and those guys. Yeah. And I thought, well, I'm not sure I'm going to learn anything from them because they're freaks, aren't they? They're just so incredible. Yeah. But I remember watching something and I messaged my doubles partner and said, there's these two, I don't know if you've heard of them, but a guy called, I think it's Tom Wilson and I forget her name now. Anyway, but there's this pair, mixed doubles pair. And I was like, I feel like I play a little bit like him.
Right.
And Anna plays a little bit like her. And we were like, let's watch these two. And they were like 30 or 40 in the world. And after a few months, they got up to number 3 or 4 in the world. So we obviously spotted something that we saw that worked. So we tried to replicate somebody that had the same build as us and played the same sort of way as us. Vivian David, that was her name.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so we watched people and then thought, what can we thought, what can we do in our drilling practice to try and copy some of the things they did?
Yeah.
So that's a good start. Trying to model yourself on somebody that plays like you.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Good luck finding somebody who plays like you, but
as I said,
it's interesting because I go through phases, and Robert's the same. That I watch the PPA channel, but sometimes it just does my head in a bit because it's so good that I know I can't do what I'm watching, and is it really helping me? But then other times I think I should watch it and see what they're doing, but it's a bit of a false situation. I don't know. Is it?
But also, do you not find that the game that you're watching at this top level is completely different to the game that we end up playing? Like in the UK, especially, for me, the game is a lot of banging. There's a lot of, just whacking the ball. When you watch the pros play, it's endless dinks and it's resets and it's waiting for the opportunity. And I feel that if I try and emulate that game in the UK, it doesn't seem to work, especially with some of the balls that we have. Unless your shot's perfect and they bounce high, it's just getting attacked at you over and over again.
Yeah.
Blaming the balls.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like, I was blaming someone. But I would love to emulate these guys. But I guess everybody on court has to have the same sort of focus in doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's also 3 years I've been playing, and the game at the top level's evolved so much. Yeah. It goes through phases, and I've probably gone through 2 or 3 phases since I started, and it's still a really new sport, even in the States. The people are working out new ways of playing, and not everybody plays the same. So as I say, finding a pair that you feel kind of replicate the way you play. The other thing I found recently is there's a hell of a lot more like over 50s senior pro stuff that's YouTubed.
Right.
If you can dig that out.
Okay,
I was really lucky this summer at the English Open. I got to play Marcelo Jardim.
Oh, yeah, we watched that.
He is a freak. I mean, the guys, if he wasn't so nice, I'd get quite angry, but he's just a lovely guy as well. But I sort of watched a bit of, after I got absolutely trashed by him.
Yeah.
I went back and started watching a few YouTube things with him on it to try and work out if I played him again, what I could maybe do differently. I still haven't worked it out.
Okay, so I was going to say, do you feel like if you had your time over again now, having gone through that, could you? Is the level of fitness different, or is it just background?
I mean, the guy is incredible. There was a YouTube came out the other week from Fort Lauderdale, the APP Tour final, and they had commentators, and they were just saying he hasn't lost a match this year.
Really? Wow.
But what was interesting is I got to watch that, and then I went down a rabbit hole of watching other matches from that event. And actually, for me, obviously I'm 52, so the senior pro tour, watching some of the guys in the States, I don't know, so again, trying to find something that's relevant to us. I can't move around like Ben Johns and all that lot. But Marcelo, when he comes off court, he sort of hobbles around, and you think, how can he play? And then he gets on court and he just becomes a machine.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, to watch him was incredible.
Yeah. Actually, from the English Open that morning, I got there. I always try and get there really early at every event. I try and be first on court, and he was there before me.
Really? Wow.
And you often realise, actually, you think, well, why is he here so early? It's often the person who's there first that's the person in the final because they put the hours in.
So if I turn early, does that mean I'll get to the final?
Well, there's always an exception to the rule, but I got to hit with him for 45 minutes drilling on the start of that day.
Yeah.
And what was remarkable, one of the things that I will never forget, is in 45 minutes, he made 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
And he's a smiley, happy chap. He got a little bit angry both times he made a mistake.
Really?
So in drilling, when he's practicing, he practices like he plays. And that's another thing. It's meaningful practice.
Yeah.
And I say he hit one in the net and one out, and I thought he was going to smash his paddle. I mean, losing points to me. Yeah.
I mean, I know you're sponsored by Yola, and I think you're using the Pro 4 at the moment. Yeah. Do you think the paddles have made the game different in the UK and all over the place with the more powerful paddles coming into the market?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you think you can do
made a small I think it has made it's probably changed the way that the game's played. When I love dinking battles, but anything that I can speed up, I'm going to speed up.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the power of the paddle. I personally think it's the grip, the ability to put spin on the ball that I think is the biggest game changer.
Go on.
I was going to say, do you think it's? You mentioned that there's been changes, but do you think it was like maybe a year ago everything was power paddle? You had to have a power paddle. Do you think it sort of swings and changes, and like you say now it's spin? Do you feel like there's a sort of a shift back to better paddles, but not necessarily power paddles?
I honestly don't know. I think I've been lucky enough that obviously Yola have been amazing and sort of really looked after me. And their paddles are, I think, to be fair, I think there's most other paddles up to recently when you've got the foam cores and bits. But I think most paddles are trying to just copy the Yola paddles, if I'm honest. But a couple of years ago, they released the mod TA15 thing. Yeah. And I got sent a couple of them. I got it out the other day and just had a little play with it. It's so naughty. I
remember you saying
ridiculous.
I remember it was the Nationals maybe, and you basically said it's a cheat code.
It kind of was. It was legal at the time. I actually understand why they made it illegal. In terms
is it the spin or is it the power that makes it?
It's the combination. The ball just dwells on the paddle for so much longer that you've just got so much more control of the ball, but then it flies off it, but I love the fact that I think if you talk, I know you've had Basti from Yola on here before, but I love the fact that these companies they're innovative. They're trying to come up with new technologies. They're always looking for new, different routes, like the foam core stuff that's coming out now. That's new, and it's great that there's different, they're trying to be innovative and develop the game and make it different. But equally, I don't know, is Pickleball what it intended to be? I'm not that sure. I love nailing drives past people, but I also love getting into dinking battles. And if I think about, one of the best games I watched was last year in real life, last year at the Euros when it was in Southampton, watching James Chowdhury and Louis take on the Spanish guys. Actually, it was Marcelo they were playing and his partner. I've never seen a game like it because the dinking rallies were 30, 40, 50 shots and nobody was popping up. And it wasn't boring. Every shot had a purpose. They were dinking into certain spots down at their feet and then moving them. It was so fascinating to watch. And I think that's a beautiful game. I think
and that's what we love about it.
I agree.
But when you came into pickleball, there wasn't really. It was new. It was so new that there wasn't the snobbery that there is now. And have you encountered that snobbery? Have you got a group of friends who still take the piss out of you, and or is it different where you are? Because we've had struggles with that. We've had problems with that. And maybe because we came in a bit later when paddle was around. I don't know, but how do you combat that?
I don't know. I think in pickleball, it's the community is what makes pickleball.
Yeah.
And the fact, I see you guys at tournaments all over, all around the country. For a start, when I play tennis, I as a junior, I played abroad a little bit, played in Europe a couple of times, but it was a rarity to do that. You know, you had to trawl around the country trying to find tournaments, and pickleball's given me the opportunity to travel all over Europe, you know, and go and went to Rome this summer. I mean, what an experience that was.
I was going to ask you.
You went to Rota this year. I went the year before. It's amazing, you know, the opportunities. And when you get there, you know people. I mean, it's crazy. And what other sport gives you that camaraderie? You're right. It's funny because I listen to you two talk about paddle and tennis and I get it, you know, and you do get people. I've got one of my old best mates in Norwich. He was a tennis coach with me, but he went down the paddle line last year.
Yeah.
He coaches paddle. He's always messaging me saying, when are you going to play a proper sport?
Yeah.
And I will when I get back from Rome, where I'm playing a tournament.
Yeah.
And when you know, there aren't many of the paddle players that get the opportunities that we're getting to go and play around the world.
It's a good point.
So I always combat it with that. The community stuff. But actually, over Christmas, I played paddle maybe 6 days in a row.
Okay. What do you think of paddle?
I really enjoy it. It gives me the same buzz that pickleball gives me, in that when I get on court, it makes you think about what you're doing, like what tactics can you use, and then I played it a couple of times and thought, oh, I'm all right, and then I played a guy that was ridiculous. I thought, oh, I've got a lot to learn, so I started, and then I was tempted to get on YouTube and start watching some people.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm going down a rabbit hole that I haven't got time to do. But
but this is the way it should be. The two sports should be, and when we talk about paddle, we're not bad-mouthing paddle. I don't think we've said anything negative other than we don't see why it's different to pickleball. But it's more a case of what we're experiencing, the negativity from the other sports.
It's from the players, isn't it? It's not the sport. Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny because one of our clips we put out on TikTok. It was on TikTok and Instagram. It's the first time that it's gone sort of viral. I mean, we've had over 120,000 hits on it, and it was talking about the longevity of your life by playing racket sports, and we mentioned different sports. But the amount of comments taking the mick out of pickleball and saying it's not this and it's not that, it's just incredible. And I don't understand why people are so against pickleball or even trying it. They probably even haven't tried it.
I think that's it. Don't you think these people just haven't got on the court? And I got told off last year because I accidentally did an interview on Radio Norfolk, where I'm from originally, and I said something like, I didn't even think pickleball was a real sport.
Yeah, really.
And I got Karen Mitchell, who was on the you shouldn't be saying that. But in the context of pickleball is a bit of a silly name. And when we talk about dinking in the kitchen and stuff like that, it does take a silly name.
Yeah, what about cricket? I mean, name cricket. You know, it doesn't mean anything, does it?
No, I mean, you're right. It doesn't help the sport, the name.
No, but it is what it is, and you're right. There's things like this in so many different sports.
Yeah,
but they just haven't tried it.
No, exactly.
And as you know, I'm sitting here in Hurlands, which is where we're opening on Monday. So I'm surprised I've sat here for this long without builders passing by behind me and touching up paintwork and stuff.
Before we get on to Hurlands, you mentioned Rome before.
Yeah.
You're obviously, it was for the England team, wasn't it? Were you England captain for that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What an honour.
Yeah. Just tell us about that experience and how it went. And, are England up there as one of the top teams?
We are. Yeah. I mean, for sure. So I played for England. The year before it was in Southampton. Not quite so glamorous, but hey, but to represent your country in anything. I mean, when you get to 50, you don't expect to make your debut for your country, in any sport.
Yeah.
but being selected was such a huge honour. And I remember going down to Southampton in the hotel, and we got our kit and just putting the tracksuit on with England written across the back. Oh, gives me shivers up the neck, even now. And that year we won it. We Anna and I won the mixed over 50s. David and I got to the finals of the men's, and the I call them kids, but the under 50s. They replicated what we did, and so we got gold as a team, and we picked up sort of individual event golds. But going to Rome this year, and obviously being asked to be captain was remarkable. I mean, the team were incredible. I've got to say, the standard across Europe between the year before and this year has skyrocketed. I was going to
say, did you notice the difference? Because
incredible. And some of the Poland, Turkey, Austria, some of the year before we'd say maybe were minnows, have suddenly just got incredible. And I guess it's the same as when I started. I went and drilled and I found a court. It only takes 6 people to make a national team, and potentially the Austrian guys. One of them was called over from the States. He plays on the APP tour, but is Austrian as his original nationality. And there was a few of them.
A few ringers.
There were, but it's great because getting the opportunity to play against some of the best players in the world is just, it's great. It might get stuffed, but you can learn from it and just get better. Yeah. And I'm not gonna put down the rest of the Spanish team, but they won gold, overall gold. We got silver this year.
Okay.
If Marcelo hadn't been there, it was amazing. Yeah, we were really proud of the achievement. But if Marcelo Jardim hadn't been playing for Spain, it might have been a little bit different. But
well, that's it, isn't it? There's always someone better somewhere.
Yeah, but you can't grumble about that, because playing better players makes you better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we get on to hurlings, I just want to ask you, obviously we talk about pickleball mental health quite a lot. If that was me at the top, let's just dream for a second. I would be crapping myself every time I went on court, because I would have a target on my back. I would feel the pressure. They always say the pressure gets higher. I saw a thing, Agassi said that when he got to number 1, he thought it would be the be all and end all, and then it wasn't, and then he slipped down. And how do you cope? You must feel the pressure. Do you feel the pressure more being the number 1? And how do you cope with it?
It's an interesting one. I was I was a bit of a brat when I was used to play tennis. I used to get quite angry. And I don't know what it is about pickleball, maybe going back to what we said earlier, where you can hit some incredible shots, and maybe it just makes you feel better, because a lot of points in pickleball are won by good shots rather than just in tennis. You make lots of mistakes, and it gets you down, doesn't it? Mm. So I do think there's the sort of mental health thing around pickleball. You can understand why people rave about it being such a good sport for that, because you've got the social bit, and you've got the fact that say more points are won with good shots rather than bad. But going back to what you were saying, there was a little time in the middle of last year around the English Open where I started taking it a little bit seriously, and just didn't play very well. Just got tight, and at the time you don't sort of notice it, but I just felt myself getting tight on court and a little nervy and not playing the way I normally play. But for some reason in pickleball, as opposed to tennis, I have routines on court, and I can reset in my mentally between every point. And also the people I get to play with, I find it's funny when I watch myself back on a show court, we laugh and smile all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes a massive difference. And there was probably a month or two in the middle of the year where I just didn't smile on court, and it made such a big difference. And as soon as we realised what we were doing, we just said, come on, and the nationals this year, I remember driving up there, and we said, well, what are our tactics? And we decided our tactics were smile.
We should try that.
Well,
there's a lot.
You make your opponent smile a lot when you're playing.
Well, we're halfway there.
I think, again, that mental health thing, that's what sees me through. And when we play nationals, just enjoying our pickleball, it makes you relax. You hit the ball more freely, and it really does help.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's a small network at your level in this, that you tend to be playing the same players every time, and they must be thinking, I'm going to beat him this time. and you going in there knowing that they know that you've beaten them
all the time. You just got to deal with it.
So you've beaten them most times, and they're coming in absolutely desperate to get one over on you. Do you thrive on that, I guess? Or does that build pressure?
It's a difficult one because I actually get on with all the people that we're playing against. Yeah. And obviously things like the England team, quite often we are a team. We're all going away together, so we know each other. And obviously we're part of the Premier Pickleball League series, and I think probably for me more so singles than doubles, because with doubles you've got somebody to share the experience with, and if you're getting a bit under pressure, you've got somebody to sort of smack it out of you. But singles is a tough one because everybody's after you. I know they're out there, and I know you've had Rob Williams on your podcast before, but he's always trying to tell people how to beat me, and and he's my mate, and I'm like, Rob, stop it. But it's I love that. It's for me. I'm like, yeah, come on, bring it on.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If them getting better makes me raise my game, so we're all egging each other on, and everybody's improving together. And I do think when you get to a certain point, not just pickleball but any sport, there's lots of great players out there, but it's mindset. It's how you cope with situations and tense points, and that it's what's in your head that makes the difference between the top players. I'm not saying I'm a top player, but
we are.
You watch the Federers and Nadals and all those.
We are saying top.
But yeah, just having a bit of belief in what you're doing, having game plans, and like I say, when I used to play tennis, I'd lose my head and completely forget my game plan. But in pickleball, I can reset. I can think, right, this is what I'm going to do in this point, and most of the time, it might not work, but at least I know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to hurlings, because this is a biggie for pickleball generally. So tell us about the centre that you're going to be general manager of.
That's right.
You are general manager of. Which is
dream job.
It must be a dream job for you. And so tell us what the facility is going to have, and you fire away.
So so I think at the English Open you interviewed Andre.
We did.
Yes, we did.
Andre and Sally, I met 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. We were at a tournament in Wolverhampton.
Okay.
And I remember them saying, I had a little chat with them, and they said, we really want to find like a barn or just a little place we could stick a couple of courts down so we can play whenever we want.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's really nice. That'll be cool. When you open it, can I come and play?
Yeah.
And every tournament we'd see them, and they went through so many ups and downs. They found somewhere, it didn't work, it fell through, and then they found somewhere else. And then this facility in Farnham popped up. And obviously I'm sitting in the boardroom here, but the fact that it's got a boardroom is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was an old nuts and bolts factory.
Right.
And I can't even tell you how many 1,000 square feet it is, but they looked at it and went, there's no way we're going to be able to do anything with that. But it was always there, and the David Lloyd in Farnham is just round the corner, and they used to drive past here and just think, I wonder.
Yeah.
But they have worked incredibly hard. I mean, they're remarkable people, and they went out and found investors. And I mean, think how hard that is. You know,
Yes.
Going to somebody and say, "Can I have £1 million to build a pickleball centre?" And the first thing they say is, "What's pickleball?"
Yeah.
So how, you know, to actually talk people into investing in something like this, it's remarkable. So, like I say, it's you know, I'm really proud to be part of it, but it's their baby. You know, they've worked so hard for it. But the centre is 9 pickleball courts.
Okay.
And I keep telling people. So this afternoon, Andre, myself, Phil, who's is our chairman, and myself and Sally, we got on the show court today for the very first time. So we hit the first balls on the courts.
Wow.
And they're essentially perfect pickleball courts.
Amazing.
So acrylic. So, you know, the PPA Tour, all the big tournaments in the States, anywhere around the world, are on acrylic courts, not the rollout courts.
Yeah.
They've got cushioning, so that it's the perfectly flat concrete underneath. It's 4 millimeters of cushioning, and then a base layer, and then 3 layers of acrylic paint.
Wow.
It's a perfect surface. We've got proper nets, not
fixed
nets. Fixed nets.
Yeah.
The lighting, we've all spent weeks and weeks, months finding the perfect light solution. So, you know, you go to all the tennis centres and you go up for a smash, and the lights are right in the middle. Yeah. The lights are down each side of every single court.
Wow.
The runoff, you know, we made sure that the show court is the dimensions of the show courts at the PPA Tour.
Right.
And all the rest of the courts are the same minimum dimensions for the outside courts at PPA. So they are perfect pickleball courts.
Okay.
And they play like it. I say, to jump on the courts today,
amazing,
is remarkable. It's just a bit of a dream. I think Sally and Andre we're almost in tears, actually. You know, it was really emotional.
Sure, to see it come to fruition after all that time is just incredible.
But the other thing is, so we've got the 9 pickleball courts, we've got 5 paddle courts. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's going to be really interesting seeing the dynamic between the two sports and the crossover. And I think paddle players will come along and use the courts, and they'll be like, well, actually, that looks quite good fun. We might have a go at that. And I think it will work the other way. There is, I think, the more centres like this that open up, you'll have that crossover between the two sports. And those barriers that the paddle players have, I think you'll start breaking them down. Well, but not only that, I've just come up from downstairs, so we've got a lounge bar restaurant.
Wow!
I'll send you some. I don't know how you do it, but I'll send you some video of it. It's incredible. It's like, so it's. I don't know. I would want to bring my mates here and have a few beers here rather than go to one of the local bars.
It's like on the American concept, isn't it? Where they have bars, you can have play pickleball. I mean, you want people to spend all day there, really, don't you?
Yeah. And then the other crazy thing is, because of the way the place is designed, we've built, we call it the mezzanine, but right in the middle of the centre, we've built a building that's got a courtside bar. So we've got 2 bars.
Right.
But it's got a courtside bar, it's got toilets and sort of facilities. But we've built a grandstand, so we're on one side. So you go and grab a beer, you can climb up the grandstand, you can sit there and watch the show court, or you can go right up onto the top of this mezzanine, and you've got a 360-degree view of the courts.
Amazing.
And it's just game changing. There's nothing like it. I don't think there's anything like it in Europe. I've been so impressed with, like, all the, I think Hull's opening this weekend, and York, Sheffield, Stourbridge. There's some amazing centres opening up. It feels like this, probably from about 6 months ago, it's game changing, isn't it? The centres that are open.
Well, yes, but everywhere but Manchester.
Well, you know what? You just need to get up off your backsides and build on.
I was actually going to say, you've given us the backstory of how it came from nothing, but can this inspire people who basically don't have a financial background? Can it inspire a regular person to just get up and do this? Because we discuss it most days, but we have no idea how to go about getting financing, and can you tell people that yes, anybody can do this, anyone can achieve this?
I think there's an element of luck. It's meeting the right people and putting yourself in the right situations to meet those people. I remember tennis coaching years ago, and I sort of ran a local tennis club up in Norfolk. And I remember one year when we did our resubscriptions, we put on the form, "What's your job?" and put optional. And actually, when you dig down, if you've got 100 members or 100 people playing, and you ask them all what their jobs are, it's amazing what you find out. And I remember then having somebody that was a marketing person. So I was like, well, can you be the marketing person for our tennis club? And it's the same with pickleball. It's between us, we probably know the people, we just don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
And it's bringing a team together. We've been so lucky here. So Sally's very creative. She background was photography, and she's got a really good eye for design and that sort of thing. So the centre looks beautiful, and that's down to her. Andre's background is sort of project management and that sort of thing. So he's very switched on, and he worked for a big posh car company. So with his background, he's got that attention to detail of like the courts need to be perfect, and they work so well together. I've come in, and my background was, say, running. Years ago I used to run nightclubs and bars.
Did you? Right, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Something I don't tell many people, but
you heard it here.
It's an exclusive.
Yeah, I did that for 4 or 5 years, and then did the tennis coaching. So I've got a sports development background.
Yeah.
Then I ran leisure centres. So actually, this is my perfect job. I mean, it really is. It brings everything that I've done all the way through my life together in one role. So actually, we've built a team, and it had Sally and Andre not shared with us back all those years ago in Wolverhampton at one of the Pickleball tournaments. Might not have ever happened, but we, So that's the thing. Just it's finding the right people and putting yourself out there, and there will be people that want to invest in this.
Can you tell us about like memberships there? Are you going to have people can just book courts without membership, or how's it going to work? What's the model there?
So booking's is open now, so anybody can go onto the Hurlands app. So it's like we took it's called Podplay. It's an American. A lot of the American centres use Podplay as a booking system. It's far more than that. Well, I might tell you a little bit about that in a minute, but it's open now. We're taking bookings. As I say, Monday we opened, so Monday's pretty much full. Most of the next week is full up already. Is
that full both paddle and pickleball?
Yes.
Everything. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So next week's a sort of a preview week. So we've invited local clubs to come and play. We've got 14 local schools that are coming down next week. I mean, that's the other game-changing thing is kids playing. It's perceived as such an old person sport because the only time we can ever find courts is at 8 o'clock at night, isn't it? When no one else wants them. So, but 4:30 to 6:30 every evening, we are making junior time.
Right, brilliant.
And we're inviting the local schools. They'll become familiar with the facility and feel safe here, and then they'll carry on coming week after week. And then hopefully their mums and dads will want to play, and we're going to introduce pickleball to just such a wide range of people. But the bookings are available. It's pay and play right across the board. The other bit I didn't say was we've got pickle and paddle. We've also got 2 fitness rooms. So we've got like a yoga Pilates studio, and we've got a like a more fit, upbeat, high intensity fitness room. And I know, Rob, you're always injured, and we were talking about injury prevention before. It feels like and the other I keep forgetting. There's so much here. We've also got a local sports therapy clinic. They've taken 2 rooms, and they're going to have sports massage, physio, osteopathy.
Can you have a flat there? Like, can I move in?
Well, Sally's just bought in all the furniture, and like some of those sofas feel awful comfy. So I might be here. But it feels like you've got everything under the one roof to make the perfect pickleballer or paddle player.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's a crazy. So yeah, at the moment you can download the app anywhere in the country. Obviously, I'm from Norfolk. I moved down a few months ago, and I noticed the 7th and 8th next weekend, we've got some festivals that we've put on, and the first 8 people are all mates I know from Norfolk, so they're all coming down. Okay. So yeah, we really want the local community to engage and see lots of new players.
Just going to book a pickleball court, how much would it cost?
So it's £7 each an hour, so £28 to book a court.
That's it.
And is paddle more expensive? Or
paddle's £50, so it's £12.50 each.
Right.
And it's when you say £50 and 28 for a pickleball court, I think there's a few people that will be weighing it up against their local sports hall that's got 150 different lines on it.
Yeah.
The courts are about 8 inches apart, and the ball rolls onto your next court. The nets are all saggy because they've been there for 20 years. You're trying to you can't compare the opportunities to play, but equally not everybody needs to come and play here. I hope everybody will want to.
Is that £7 an hour?
Yeah.
Right. So if we wanted to go, it's £14 and
for 2 hours.
We pay £6 at our club.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you to go and change the pricing, but I'd pay more than that just to be there.
Yeah. And
in a heartbeat, I would, move.
But the other thing we're doing is that's our fee per court. But we're going to have skills and drills sessions. We're going to have 6 week coaching courses.
Yeah.
We have social play, so we're having senior social, ladies socials, kids, junior social sessions. I mean, it's unheard of, isn't it? But when you do that, we can actually bring the price down. So, like this next week, for a tenner, you can get an hour and a half of pickleball, 2 hours of pickleball. So there's ways of bringing the price down. You might not be on court all 2 hours, but getting the opportunity to play on these courts, proper pickleball courts.
Yeah. But you're not always on a club night, are you? People sit out.
No, exactly. So even though we've set that price per court, it's like an introductory price, and there will be ways of having the opportunity to play for a little bit less if you can't afford it. I mean, the other crazy thing is we're building a coaching team here. We've got quite a few youngsters. I don't know if you know Ellie Tompkinson. She won the national singles last year. She's moved down. Got Flynn Crossway, who's one of the PPL players.
Right.
And these are young, up-and-coming coaches, and I'd like to. So I used to be a tutor for the Lawn Tennis Association as well when I was a tennis coach. So I'm going to nurture them and mentor them. We're going to have a really amazing team of coaches here. And they're going to go out into local schools. So it's not all about here.
Yeah.
They're going to go out into the community and deliver. So again, we can go into schools and some of that will be free. So we're giving people the opportunity to play pickleball for free and have national champions coaching you.
Amazing. I mean, it's great for pickleball. It's just,
it is. It's just that we want everything yesterday.
Yeah, and you want it in Manchester, I know. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't
know if we mentioned that.
I think people will be like watching Hurlands to see if you make it the success that I think it absolutely will be before other people take the leap and want to do the same kind of thing, because people want to see that things are taking off before they actually put all their money in. It's a big risk for a lot of people.
Investors for sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, one of the key things, knowing that you were coming on, I had a message from a Robert in Manchester who wants to know, will the bars have Guinness? Because that's it.
Well, it's full of nutrients and things, isn't it? I think it's a health food, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So
health
why
drink.
aren't you any healthier then? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Why is Robert from Manchester not any healthier?
You're right. It's not helping me. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
It's been great talking to you.
Too long.
It's been a dream of mine. So I'm very happy now.
Yeah.
We're desperate to come down, and we will.
And we'll do a podcast from there, and it's going to be.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got to come and play on these courts and have a game with you. You know, rekindle that old magic.
I'd like to get a few drilling sessions in beforehand.
You're going to need to, yeah.
I don't know if you heard that Andy's not available for the Open this year. So
is he not?
No, I don't have a partner. So if you fancy,
I mean, who has the Open in the middle of August when everyone's on holiday? Seriously.
I know. That's your excuse for that? I mean, you're giving everybody else a chance, aren't you, Andy?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll enjoy a weekend in August now.
I would. Well, I think I might be washing my hair that week.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I mean, is there a website you can give everybody?
Do you want to give it a push?
Yeah, of course. Hurlands.com is the website. And if you go onto Google Apps or the Android, the Google Store, just type in Hurlands and the app comes up and you can see all the sessions that are running. But our website is the place to go.
Okay,
fantastic.
Well, good luck with the opening. I'm sure you don't need it.
Great.
To get there.
Yeah, great talking to you.
And you. See you soon.
See you soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.